This is the EndZone. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you know when new videos come out. We have everything football related, and right now, week 3 of the XFL has just ended. This is just a video, me in front of the mic, no script, no stats, just talking about what the XFL is doing right so far and why I think it's actually going to get better as the weeks go on. Now, I watched the rise and the fall of the Alliance of American Football, and I believe the Alliance of American Football at the time, but they had some very bad management up top, and I believe that the XFL has incredible management with Vince McMahon obviously funding, and then Oliver Luck obviously, overarching, taking care of all the teams, making sure the business side and everything is organized. And we all know that. I think you know that as a viewer. But I'm here just to talk about the play and how much better it is than the Alliance of American Football, and it shows. Now, obviously, the TV deal helps. More people are watching the games, and lots of these journalists going out and saying that they had huge drops in numbers of watching the games. Well, of course they will. After week 1, there's going to be lots of excitement around the league. I will do a video in the middle of the season covering the viewership, and I think the viewership numbers are incredible actually right now for the XFL, but I'm just going to talk about the play. One thing that worried me was offenses, and early on in the XFL, the offenses were looking rusty. But there were sparks. So you got Houston, obviously. You got Washington. Washington, DC, they were bad against Los Angeles, but Los Angeles kind of took the spot. Lots of people thought that game was just going to be the same score, probably the other way around. But with the return of Josh Johnson, it seems that there's another quarterback that in the XFL that's really making an impact. In the Alliance of American Football, there really weren't that many quarterbacks. So you had Garrett Gilbert, obviously the best quarterback, John Wolford, and then maybe Luis Perez, Logan Woodside had troubles. But here in the XFL, obviously the number one quarterback is PJ Walker. I know Cardell Jones had a very bad game, but he still is considered one of the top quarterbacks. He had one really bad game. That's it. Hopefully this doesn't affect the rest of the season. The uprising of Josh Johnson. Brandon Silvers he's not great, but he's not horrible. We'll give him that. Obviously, Tampa Bay, they were better this week, week 3, if you're watching this in the future, than any other week. They're improving. They're showing sparks of light. Really the only team that's bad in the XFL right now, after week 3, is the New York Guardians. They are horrible. They seem undisciplined. Too many penalties. The offense can't get anything going. They're just imploding. And the Vipers actually looked pretty good against the best team in the XFL in Houston, almost upset Houston. Obviously, you have the St. Louis Battlehawks who are getting better and better every week. They're now one of my favorite teams in the XFL. You told me that week 1, I would not really believe you because their first game was kind of rough, and it was a game where it was very low scoring, and I was worried that was how the XFL was headed, low-scoring games. No, the XFL is headed in the right direction. The quarterbacks are playing well. You also have Landry Jones, who is consistently moving the ball in that Hal Mummy air raid offense. I really think that the XFL has hope because of the level of quarterback play. And after 2 weeks, everybody, ESPN, especially I saw NBC Pro Football Talk complaining about the quarterbacks in the XFL are horrible. I also haven't watched any games. I was laughing my head off because how can you judge the quarterback and the quality of the league when you don't watch any games? But I guess that's how the media world works right now. Some people just don't watch the games and they feel the need to commentate over it and give their opinions. We watch all the games. I know you watch all the games. And I think you can tell that the level of play and the level of competition is far superior than it was in the Alliance of American Football. And I think by week 5, many of these offenses, I think all of the offenses other than New York are going to be firing off on all cylinders. There are a lot of great teams in this league, and now we're starting to see less separation between the top 2 teams. I mean, LA and Josh Johnson, they're starting to look very good. And then Tampa Bay, they looked great against a Houston team that is the best in the league. Obviously, we have Houston. St. Louis, they're very exciting. They run the ball a lot. And honestly, I really am excited for the future of the XFL. And I think that it will survive and it will work. Also, I think that the XFL in the future, after this year, should start investing in young quarterbacks for this league, because really and truly, the veteran quarterbacks haven't panned out like they would have wanted. Josh Johnson, he was injured week 1, and then he came back. He had a decent game last week. This week, obviously, he went off. Aaron Murray was supposed to be another veteran guy. Matt McGloin. Some of the veterans haven't done so well. Now I think that if the XFL can invest in young quarterbacks from college football who have that talent, I think there's no stopping the XFL. And the fan bases, people are going to the games. Nobody went to the Alliance of American Football games. You watch them, Salt Lake City, Memphis, they struggled. Arizona, they struggled with getting attendance. The AAF actually lied about their ticket sales. The XFL doesn't need to lie about their ticket sales because lots of people are going to the games. Even the teams that don't have a lot of people, Tampa Bay and LA, they're still getting more than the worst teams in the Alliance of American Football. In attendance-wise, St. Louis is obviously leading the way right now. If the XFL does add teams, which I think they will probably after year 3, I could see them moving to San Antonio, maybe Birmingham, places like that, Philadelphia. But I think that the XFL is trending in the right direction. If anyone tells you it's not because of numbers on TV going down, well, of course they're going to go down, but they're still beating out the NBA. They're beating out hockey. They're beating out other TV shows. I think that's why ESPN and ABC and Fox Sports 1 picked up the XFL, because they know that these numbers will beat out other sports and other TV programs because, hey, it's football and Americans love football. Again, these are just my ideas. I'm just talking into the mic. Let me know what you think down below. Do you think that the XFL is headed in the right direction on the field? Because I certainly think they are. And I think that this league has a lot to offer, and I cannot wait for the XFL championship. Thanks for watching the End Zone. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so we can move the chains.